His Holiness Dr. Sukadeva Swami was born in Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. He did his medical graduation from Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati in 1979. Later, he went on to do specialization in residency urology in USA. He joined the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, in the year 1982 in West Virginia, USA. Subsequently, he was sent to India to preach the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He has traveled widely all over India and has built two beautiful temples, one at Kurukshetra and the other Sri Jagannath Mandir at Nellore. He has been implementing midday meal program of Government of India in Nellore for about 30,000 children now, being served sanctified, hygienic and wholesome food. He conducts Jagannath Rath Yatra, a massive public program spreading the holy names of God and engaging all classes of society, breaking the social and religious barriers in Nellore, Gudur, Kavali and Sulurpet. He has published several books on spiritual life. Some of the major works include Srila Prabhupada in Nellore, Vaishnavachar Samhita, Jai Jagannath, dealing with pastimes and worship of Lord Jagannath, Children's Ramayan and glories of Tulasi Shaligram. Presently, he is working on a major book entitled Chaitanya Bhagavatam on the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation of Lord Krishna in Kali Yuga. His future mission plans include an eco-village farm community, values and principle-based educational institution emphasizing the spiritual dimension of life, an old age home and Panchagavya medicines from Desi cows.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ladadaine Hiranyakase Purvakshaha Silatanaka Nakhalaye Ito Narsimha Parata Narsimha Yata Yata Yami Tata Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Hridaya Narsimha Narasimha Madim Saranam Prapade Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Madbhuta Srunga Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanu Brunga Kesavadrita Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare ಸಾವಕಾರ ಕಮಲವರ ನಕ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಶೃಂಗ ಗಾಳಿತ ಹಿರಣ್ಯಕಶಿಪು ತಾನು ಭೃಂಗ ಕಸವದೃತ ನರಹರಿ ರೂಪ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ ಜಯ ಜಗದೀಶ ಹರೇ जय विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंहदेव जय विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंहदेव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय 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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल కలియుగ ధర్మ కృష్ణ నామ సంకీర్తనానికి యుగావతారి గౌరంగ మహాప్రభుకి जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की अहोबिलम नरसिम्हा नव नरसिम्हा धाम की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तकम्। Everybody raise your hands and say, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare I thank you all for engaging me in speaking something from this Bhagavatam, so that I can meditate on what I can be speaking to you that may help you. I was listening in the morning, so 2-3 things are coming to my mind from what was spoken by Ravatiraman Prabhu, and also Parivrajaka Acharya Maharaj. We also have a small Lakshmi Narasimha deity in Nellore temple, and Ravatiraman Prabhu, it was like a little scaring thing what happened in Hungary by taking Narasimha's deity, and also how it was returned back to Gurukul Mayapur. So I was also seeing some problems in the temple. Is it that Narasimhadev is not worshipped properly also? And I was wondering how Lord Narasimha Dev deity ended up in our temple in Nellore. You may be also curious to know. Actually, when I went to Nellore, generally in ISKCON temples, you have Lordships Gaurnitai and Radha Krishna traditionally. And the people who are well read into Srila Prabhupada books to maintain the standards of worshipping Radha and Krishna, especially when the congregation is not built up, full-time devotees are not many, not easy to, not good to take up worship of Radha and Krishna. If I remember, Srila Prabhupada has also told, like it is convenient and recommended to worship Gaurnitai and Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra for the obvious reasons that they don't take our offenses, but they accept whatever sincere service we are rendering. Anyway, when I moved out of Kurukshetra to Nellore, and people came forward to donate for the deities of Gaurnitai and Radha and Krishna. And some 4 people came and said, I sponsor Gauranga, like that. And in a out of enthusiasm in a hurried way, just I went to Jaipur and ordered the place called Khajana Walanka Rasta. That whole area is deities. They sell, an order, they manufacture and they give. And I ordered and they came. And I was wondering, people who have seen Nellore temple, it's not so big. There's only one altar. It becomes crowded to keep even the four deities, Gaurnita and Radha Krishna. And also, as I told you, to worship Radha and Krishna is not. So now the standards are set up that if anybody wants to install deities, we have to take permission from ISKCON deity ministry. It's good. Some systems have come into place. That time, all these systems were not there. Every temple president, whatever he likes, he was doing. That was in 1990s and early 2000. Fortunately, some offer came from a Telugu family from Tamil Nadu, where he purchased the Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, much bigger than the deities that are entertained in the homes. Home deities, they take small. They take like this big. And then the temple president, Chennai, he chastised him. Why did you bring such big deities? Then he was discouraged to keep them. And then, being a Telugu devotee, he called me, Maharaj, I have an offer. Then what is that? I have 2 feet size Jagannath Baldev Subhadra deities. Do you want to take them? And for your information, which is the temple, ISKCON temple in India that conducts maximum Radhayatras in a year. Like a quiz question. Which is the temple that conducts maximum Radhayatras in a year? Any answer? Anybody? Kurukshetra. Sakshi Gopal, where I was staying before. Sakshi Gopal Prabhu, he conducts almost like 15 to 20 Radhayatras in a year, including the India famous Ludhiana Radhayatra, where helicopters go around and throw flower petals and all that. Anyway, I was in Kurukshetra for more than 2 decades, and seeing so many Radhayatras conducted by one temple, one person, Sakshi Gopal Prabhu, and having heard from Prabhupada Leelamrita how in the childhood, Prabhupada, in the very childhood, Prabhupada did Radhayatra. So, being of a man of small stature, I was wondering, will I be ever conduct Radhayatra in my life? Will I be ever conduct Radhayatra? So that at least I should be, if there is an opportunity, I should also conduct Radhayatra. And this is how Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, they came to Nellore from Chennai. And it's true that Jagannath is Patita Pavan Jagannath, and quickly things happened. The temple was built, the guest house was built, and uh, on its own, some lady came forward and said, I will build the entire Rath for you, right? Which cost about 10 lakhs those days. And people came together and said, let's conduct Ratha Yatra. So the point I'm trying to say is that like we are talking about the holy place here, Ahobilam Dham, and we are also talking about deities, their influence in a devotee's life. And in the morning, there was also comment by one of the stage managers. He said, there is Sangam, Kumbh Mela, and here we have devotees from 5 states. 5 states Sangam is happening here. So it's a very exciting thing for all the devotees who are participating here. And I was also thinking on that. And it is also true that in Kali Yuga, more than the Mahima of the Tirtha, the pilgrimage places, and the temples, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, Temple of the Holy Name. Isn't it? This is the age for Temple of the Holy Name, where devotees gather, and most of the preaching is going on. Devotees go out. Not everybody can come to the temple. Devotees go out and they do kirtan and they do katha, and then congregation develops. As the congregation develops, when the place resources are there, we start a center. So the point is that our seen, unseen offenses to the deity, and with our conditioned state not being appreciate the dham, but definitely everybody can appreciate and see the transformation that comes from devotee association. So that's why the kirtans and katha, they are the life of spirituality in this age of Kali. So today I'm asked to speak from prayers of Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto. Broadly, if you see, the whole katha goes like, Hiranyakashipu, he asks Prahlad Maharaj, what did you learn in the school? And then the exchanges, and Prahlad Maharaj, out of the way, beyond all that was taught in the school, uh, without the uh, expectation of Hiranyakashipu, he started saying things, about Bhagavad Dharma. And then the dialogues continue further. And then, like, materialists are stubborn, and a spiritual person, you don't call it stubborn, but he is fixed up, or because he is really is experiencing the truth. So you may not like to forego it, or you may not like to deviate from there, because it is such a precious thing, the Bhagavata Dharma. So in spite of being in the kingdom of demons, single Prahlad, the boy Prahlad, he was so confident, so strong. Maybe you can say he was so kind, fearlessly. He confronted his father. Then, then because of his fixed up position in Bhagavata Dharma, which is life and soul, he could not keep quiet also. He could not be intimidated, he could not be restrained, and in spite of a total opposite environment, Prahlad was self-motivated, and he was excited to speak about Bhagavad Dharma to his classmates. And later on, it goes further. Hiranyakashipu was slain, and Narsinga, Bhagavan's anger was not subsided. He has a transcendental anger for his own reasons that more katha to come. So, Narsinga, Bhagavan's anger was unsubsided, and nobody could pacify him. And because the incarnation appeared for protecting Prahlad, then all the demigods there, finally they decide that only maybe if Prahlad approaches, then the Lord will be pacified. And it happened so. Then Lord wanted to give benedictions to Prahlad. These are the two sets of prayers. One set is to pacify Lord Narsimhadev. Prahlad spoke. The 5-6-year-old boy Prahlad spoke, and the background to that, and Prahlad bowed down to Narsimhadev, and Lord Narsimhadev, he put his hand on the head of Prahlad and had Prahlad sit on his lap. And the Prabhupada comments that being touched by the Lord, so Prahlad Maharaj became completely enlightened. He heard from Narada Muni in the womb of his mother, and now personally the Lord affectionately touched Prahlad, and Prahlad became enlightened. We hear a similar thing in the story of Dhruva Maharaj also. Dhruva Maharaj was also a child, and he also, his guru was also Narada Muni. And uh, it's not that he could understand so many things, or it is not for any spiritual enlightenment. We all know that Dhruva Maharaj, he approached the Lord for fulfilling his ambitious desire to have a kingdom much bigger than his father. No? So Narada Muni, seeing child Dhruva, he just gave him the mantra, 8-syllable mantra. And Dhruva Maharaj, being a child and a Kshatriya by blood, and also he was just insulted by his stepmother, that he was very adamant to achieve his objective, and he started chanting, in a record time of only 6 months. He had the darshan of the Lord. So the point is, he was also, the Lord appeared. Dhruva Maharaj was meditating on the mantra, and there was a total transformation coming through by repeatedly saying the mantra. And he was lost and absorbed in the mantra. And the result that he started feeling the presence of the Lord, and suddenly the Lord disappeared from within the heart, and he literally gave darshan outside. Is that right? He gave darshan. And being a child, he was also, it's not that he was well read, he was well trained, and nothing like that. He just got a mantra from Narada Muni, and with complete faith and determination, he did his sadhana. And the result was that he had the darshan. And the Lord touched with his conch on the head of Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj also became completely purified and enlightened. And he offers prayers. So what is important for us is that we may be having a bad birth, bad upbringing, and like we are all going through bad education and bad times. But the enticing thing, the tempting thing is that now the secret is out. Right? The secret is out that anyone who can hear from a bona fide sadhu and take this mantra, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes that Kathanchan Srute Yasmin Sukritam Bhava Viparita Shat. So the meaning being, if you remember the Lordship, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, Katance, if you remember a personality by the name Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, the impossible things becomes very easy. And if you don't remember them, and very simple things becomes impossible. No? The simple thing is, uh, we are not this body, we are in this body, but uh, uh, so many universities are there, and so many departments of knowledge are there, and so many big libraries are there, but the foundation is missing. The Our very identity is misunderstood. What is the use of this education if you cannot say who you are? So like I was reading the latest book of uh, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, Bhagavad Gita for CEO. It just came. And also in another place, uh, like for children, there will be uh, multiple choice questions in the entrance. There was like they want to know uh, children's understanding is good or not. Like who are you? Who are you? And there is a question. Uh, I'm an Indian. I'm a Maharashtrian. Uh, I'm a Hindu. Uh, like none of this or all of this. Then generally we have to write none of this. Then you will be given a 0. Because which is actually a fact. We are none of these designations. Uh, we are Atma. No? The people who set up the question paper, uh, they don't have knowledge. So they cannot put this option for you. And if your parents have educated you, that you are not the body or Atma, and with so much enthusiasm and oh, I know the real answer, and you put this, and you will fail in the exam. So this is the state of affairs, and we have to take the Bhagavata Dharma forward. And similarly, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was writing that with all this going all over the world and trying to educate people about spiritual life, all our lectures are not the body or the Atma. And but when you go to the airport and they say, what is your passport? Because Sri Lanka people, Burmese people, Myanmar people, Pakistan, we all look alike like India. So they ask you, what passport do you hold? And you have to say, I have an Indian passport. So he has been educated all his life, and he has been educating others, and he is being educated. But you have to answer in the airport, I hold an Indian passport. So the question is, how does it go with the devotees now? That means we have real identity. If you have your real identity, you may be giving answers like this, but not necessarily that we really mean that. It's a functional, your gender, your nationality, you have to answer properly. But because if you're really in touch with your soul, you don't mind because to satisfy the ignorant people and go on with your mission. Right? So the point is that Prahlad Maharaj, after Hiranyakashipu was slain, and he was put forward to pacify Lord Narsingadev, in itself it is like a complete work. The prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, like we summarize with all our lectures and all that. We summarize that it can be put in three simple words. Sambandha Jnana, Abhidaya Jnana, and Prayojana. There are three things. Whatever you listen, ultimately, whenever you listen so many things, say for example, I speak to you for 1 hour, and what did Maharaj try to tell us? I think one of your person itself come on the stage. Maharaj tried to uh, impress on us these points. So ultimately, we have to be very clear about this Sambandha Jnana, Abhidaya Jnana, and Prayojana. So Prahlad Maharaj prayers are complete in that it shows how in so many slokas, prayers, how the Lord is all in all, whatever it is, whatever, behind everything is the hand of the Lord. Otherwise, nothing can happen. So, one should surrender to the Lord. And in the principle surrender, again, it boils it down to the point that we should always have association of devotees. We should be in the association of devotees. Generally, in the association of devotees, you may find it sometimes your time is wasted, or sometimes you want to chant your rounds, but there is so much seva. Seniors come, many devotees come, many arrangements will be there. And as Maharaj was also telling in the morning, how not just theory, but we should get down to service. We should do service. So in the association, things may not exactly happen the way you want or the way you expect, but that also is a kind of surrender, because you are putting aside your mind and trying to do what is necessary at that time. And that way, you tolerate your own mind and execute the instructions of your superiors, and you are benefiting. So this section, Narsingadev was very satisfied with prayers of Prahlad. Now I'm coming to, I told, they told me that the prayers are in 9th chapter, 7th canto, 9th chapter, majority of prayers. And in the 10th chapter also, there are prayers. Lord Narsimhadev is asking Prahlad, for my sake, you tolerated so much suffering, and you took so much trouble. And so I want to give you a benediction. So this 10th chapter, the Lord asked Prahlad Maharaj, you take some benediction from me. And this is what Prahlad Maharaj is praying, that uh, how a devotee, when he asked to take some benediction, in the purpose of Prabhupada, you don't have to make new prayers, We don't have to make our own prayers. Because already exalted devotees' prayers are already there. And you find repetition, because in this world, like Bhagavad Gita says, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bhavushaka santasya buddhayo avyavasayanam. One who knows his purpose is resolute, one thing. So, what do we pray, generally? What do we pray? So, generally we pray whatever demands are there in us, whatever is bugging you, whatever desires you have. If there is an offer, actually, whenever we go to the temple, we do our own prayers. We demand, we pray the Lord for some things, not knowing what the Lord wants from you, not knowing what great devotees have asked the Lord for. So, listening to our mind, not able to tolerate the mind. It's actually, whether you say or not, I tell people who visit the temple, say before you verbally or mentally you pray the Lord, your prayers are already known to the Lord. Then who is structuring your sentences? Who is shaping your ideas? Lord knows our past, present, and future. Yeah. So when your mind is one-sided, material, and your prayers, so whether you are extrovert, whether you openly say or not, the Lord already knows. Similarly, when your devotional prayers also, the Lord knows. It's called the Lord reads your mind. The Lord doesn't read your lips. You may say some things like, if we just as a lip service, that's what they're saying. Your actions speak louder than your words. So it comes down to, if you really mean what you want to say, you have to bring it into action. You have to pull up your sleeves. Now you have to get down to action. That way, it is why our prayers are not granted. Because we are not serious about our prayers. We just pray, but we listen to our mind, the other desires, and we go on with them. And we find ourselves that why we are not advancing in a spiritual life. So in the association of devotees, like Like when I'm speaking to you, I'm trying to address you. Trying to talk to you. When I'm trying to talk to you, how many of you are listening to that? I don't know. I don't know. But definitely, I have to see uh, uh, what I'm talking. Am I really trying to implement myself? Uh, it's a checking on me that I can see. Uh, I'm addressing this big gathering, these things, but what I'm talking, so like you talk what you do what you talk. So Prahlad Maharaj, being uh, educated by none other than Narada Muni, and having survived in circumstances, complete demoniac environment, he survived the Bhagavad Dharma. And now the Lord is openly uh, asking Prahlad Maharaj, now you take some benediction from me. You know? So, as I told you before, uh, we daily recite Sishtastakam. Is that right? We daily recite Sishtastakam after Mangalarti. And even if you meditate on the 8 prayers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not write books. He inspired, he instructed his followers to write books, but he himself did not write any books. But he only told these 8 prayers, which are known by Sishtastakam. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written books on each sloka of Sishtastakam. And if you can meditate, what we are reciting daily, slowly we'll begin to analyze our own situation. That how much we understood, how much we are conscious, and how much we are applying it in our day-to-day devotional service. So, for the little time I have, I'll just read out the beautiful prayer. This is the 7th canto, chapter 10, text 2 and 3. Sri Prahlada Vacha. It is the Mamam Pralavya Yotpatya. Mamam Pralavya Yotpatya. Saktam Kameshu Tairvare. Saktam Kameshu Tairvare. Tatsanga Bhito Nirvinna. Tatsanga Bhito Nirvinna. Mumukshustam Upasrita. Mumukshustam Upasrita. The third one is Vritya Lakshana Jigyasur. Vritya Lakshana Jigyasur. Bhaktam Kamesh Achodayat. Bhaktam Kamesh Achodayat. Bhavan Samsara Bijeshu. Bhavan Samsara Bijeshu. Hridaya Grandhishu Prabha. Hridaya Grandhishu Prabha. Translation and purport. Prahlad Maharaj said, "My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because I was born in an atheistic family, I am naturally attached to material enjoyment. So, those of us who are not born in Vaishnava families, from the childhood to Vaishnava parents, so we all qualify this statement. I was born in an atheistic family. I am naturally attached to material enjoyment. Therefore, kindly do not tempt me with these illusions." So whoever is practicing devotional service, even if you don't desire, if you are seriously practicing devotional service, all these offers, all things of the world, then we don't have to separately try for material acquisitions. Simply, seriously, you practice bhakti, all these things, they will be forced on you just to test you whether still you have an inclination to enjoy. So Prahlad is saying, therefore kindly do not tempt me with these illusions. I am very much afraid of material conditions, and I desire to be liberated from materialistic life. It is for this reason that I have taken shelter of your lotus feet. Materialistic life means attachment to the body, everything in relationship to the body. This attachment is based on lusty desires for sense gratification, specifically sexual enjoyment. Kama istha rota jnana. When one is too attached to material enjoyment, is bereft of all knowledge, rata jnana. I stated in Bhagavad Gita, those who are attached to material enjoyment are mostly inclined to worship the demigods, to procure various material opulences. They are especially attached towards worship of goddess Durga and Lord Shiva, because the transient couple can offer their devotees all material opulences. Prahlad, however, was detached from all material enjoyment. He therefore took shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sukadeva, and not to the feet of any demigod. It is to be understood that if one really wants release from this material world, from the threefold miseries, and from Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease, one must take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For without Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot get released from materialistic life. Atheistic men are very much attached to material enjoyment. Therefore, if they get some opportunity to achieve more and more material enjoyment, they take it. Prahlad Maharaj, however, was very careful in this regard. All the born of a materialistic father, because he was a devotee, he had no material desire. Anya Vilashistham. So to conclude, my time is up. Sir, if you want to succeed in spiritual life, if your belief has to come to realization over time, the key factor is we should associate with the devotees on a continual basis. It is not only reading, not only hearing, and being around them, being in their company, and trying to please them. Then your own sadhana. It is said that if you try to please the devotees, not only your spiritual master, not only the senior Vaishnavas, all the Vaishnavas, we try to, if your mood is like that, And you see that spiritual life doesn't have accidents. It is not difficult. And although it may take time, but it is slow and steady wins the race, right? So uh, you are very fortunate to be the participants and members of ISKCON. And as Prabhupada said, if you don't leave the ship ISKCON, you are going to make it. All right, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we really like to express our gratitude to His Holiness Sukadeva Swami Maharaj for taking us on this beautiful journey of giving us the essence and the inspiration behind Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, telling us the mood in which the prayer should be offered. One Prahlad Maharaj offered prayers to Lord Nrsimha and appeased him. Just imagine, today so many followers of Prahlad Maharaj sitting here. If all of you offer prayers in this Ahobilam Dham, how much Lord Nrsimha will be happy? Haribo! So let us express our gratitude to Maharaj by one time loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.